The city of Portland, Oregon, often carried a charm that was difficult to describe. Its streets were alive with a mix of creativity and calmness, coffee shops tucked into every corner, and the soft drizzle of rain that seemed to wash the city clean. For 20-year-old Claire Anderson, Portland was more than just a city. It was the backdrop of her life, a place where she studied at Portland State University, worked part-time at a local art supply store, and built the friendships that grounded her. Her best friend since high school was Ava Mitchell, a free-spirited young woman with a laugh that could brighten even the gloomiest day. Ava and Claire were different in many ways. Claire was thoughtful and measured, while Ava was spontaneous and bold, but together they found balance. One Saturday afternoon in early spring, Ava invited Claire over to her family's home in Beaverton, a suburb just outside Portland. "You have to come today," Ava insisted over the phone. "My brother is back, and you need to meet him. He's different now, but in a good way." Claire agreed, curious. She had heard bits and pieces about Ava's brother, Lucas Mitchell, who had been away for the past few years. Ava never went into much detail, only that he had faced some tough times and needed space to figure things out. When Claire arrived, she found the Mitchell home alive with its usual warmth. Mrs. Mitchell was in the kitchen preparing snacks, while Ava bounced excitedly by the door. "Come on," Ava said, pulling Claire inside. "He's in the backyard." The moment Claire stepped outside, she saw him, Lucas, taller than she expected, with sandy brown hair and a smile that seemed calm but carried something unspoken. He was sitting at a picnic table, sketching in a worn notebook. When Ava called his name, he looked up, his eyes kind but guarded. "Lucas, this is Claire," Ava introduced. "She's basically family at this point." Lucas stood and extended his hand. "Nice to meet you, Claire." "Nice to meet you too," Claire replied. His handshake was firm but gentle, and that faint smile lingered on his face. Over the next few weeks, Claire found herself at the Mitchell home more often. Ava was thrilled to have her brother back and wanted to include him in everything. Lucas was polite, kind, and helpful, but Claire couldn't help noticing the quietness behind his smile. It was as if he carried a secret, one that he wasn't ready to share. One rainy evening, while Ava was inside helping her mom, Claire found herself sitting with Lucas on the porch. The rain tapped softly against the roof as they watched the world outside. "You draw a lot," Claire said, nodding toward the sketchbook he always carried. Lucas chuckled lightly. "It helps me think. Helps me process things." "Do you mind if I ask what you draw?" she asked gently. "Not at all," he said, flipping the notebook open. Claire expected random sketches, but instead she saw detailed drawings of places, mountains, rivers, cityscapes. Some were familiar, like Portland's bridges, while others were unknown. Each page carried a sense of longing, as if the places meant more than just scenery. "They're beautiful," Claire said softly. "Do they represent where you've been?" Lucas hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, and sometimes where I hope to go." That night marked the beginning of a deeper understanding between them. Lucas didn't reveal everything, but he slowly began to open up in small ways. He told Claire how he had struggled during his time away, how he often felt lost, and how sketching gave him peace. He didn't share all the details, but Claire didn't press. She listened, offering the quiet presence that made it easier for him to talk. Weeks turned into months, and Claire realized something important. Lucas's smile wasn't just an expression. It was a choice. Behind it lay stories of struggle, resilience, and hope. His smile wasn't about hiding pain, it was about moving forward despite it. Lucas eventually found new purpose by volunteering at a community center in Portland, teaching art classes to kids. Claire joined him sometimes, helping organize supplies and cheering on the children's creativity. The kids adored Lucas, not just for his talent but for his patience and kindness. Watching him, Claire saw how his smile shifted from guarded to genuine whenever he encouraged the children. But challenges soon followed. The community center announced it might close due to lack of funding. The kids were heartbroken, and Lucas felt the weight of possibly losing the place that gave him a sense of belonging. "We can't let this happen," Claire said firmly one afternoon as she and Lucas sat outside the center. Lucas sighed. I don't know what more we can do. You're good with art. Why don't we organize an exhibit? Showcase your work, the kids' work, and maybe even auction some pieces. People would come. It could raise money and show the value of this place. Lucas looked at her in surprise. You really think that would work? Claire smiled. I do. And I'll help you every step of the way. Together with Ava, they began planning. They spread the word, gathered support from local businesses, and encouraged the kids to contribute their art. The night of the exhibit arrived, and the community center was filled with people. Paintings, sketches, and crafts lined the walls, and the energy was electric. When Lucas's sketches were displayed, people were captivated by the emotion in each piece. A local gallery owner even approached him, offering to feature his work. But more importantly, the fundraiser exceeded their goal, securing the future of the center. As the evening wound down, Lucas stood beside Claire, his usual smile on his face, but this time, it was different. It wasn't guarded or quiet. It was free, full of gratitude. Thank you, he said quietly. Not just for tonight, but for believing in me when I wasn't sure I believed in myself. Claire shook her head gently. You don't have to thank me. That smile of yours, it says more than words ever could. Years later, Claire would look back on that time as one of the most defining chapters of her life. Ava remained her closest friend, and Lucas became like family, someone who reminded her every day that resilience is often hidden behind the simplest gestures. The secret behind Lucas's smile wasn't about hiding his past. It was about choosing hope, choosing kindness, and choosing to move forward. And in that truth, Claire found a lesson that would guide her for the rest of her life. Portland continued its rhythm of rain and creativity, but for Claire, every drizzle, every bridge, every sketch carried the reminder that sometimes the greatest strength is found not in what we reveal, but in what we carry with quiet courage, and in the smiles that remind us we're still standing.